Hey there, everybody. Matt Carter here.
And Jessica Carter from CARTERMATT.com.
This video is our reaction to The Bachelor Episode 2. Unfortunately, we used all the champagne up going into this video. We do not have any more left. I cannot pour any on my face.
That's already been done by somebody else. We don't need to have that twice in a night.
Well, Kelsey had herself a night. I think we can say that definitively.
Yes, she had a night.
What is it about people named Kelsey on this show? There was another really controversial one like a few years ago.
That's right.
But this was just a mess on top of a mess, and not just because the champagne was messy. Also, Bachelor producers extremely messy in this episode.
They're twirling their mustaches.
Yeah,
You guys, we know what you're doing. And really, because nobody...
Yeah.
I don't think anyone was actually to blame in this except really producers, because you're going to have Peter come across this random champagne and not think that production put it out. So it's like, ooh, champagne.
Yeah.
What else is he supposed to think? There's like 30 people in this house. Kelsey, watch your champagne. Everybody else in there, if you put something down, maybe put a note on it. Maybe have a buddy watch it while you're not sitting beside it. Maybe actually sit beside it and wait for Peter.
This is a hard lesson that these people have to learn. Production, they're not your friends. I mean, I'm sure one of them probably said to Kelsey in an interview, oh yeah, don't worry, I got your back. I'll make sure nothing happens to your champagne bottle.
Yes, and then they're like,
yeah, and then she goes and takes that champagne bottle, just sticks it somewhere else in the house, and then I'm sure when Kelsey comes back to her and is mad, she's probably like, oh, I'm so sorry, Kelsey, I went to the bathroom, and then they just make up some excuse for it. They're not your friends.
Well, for sure, and there's 2 bottles of champagne where Hannah's like, oh, but there's another bottle over here, and then there's another bottle over here. Why wouldn't anybody just think that this is part of production? If nobody told her, there's no way to know. Even Peter didn't know, and just like, ooh, champagne.
Yeah, well, we will dive back into that in just a minute. We still have more to uncork there. You're welcome for that pun. But before we do anything else, if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any other updates. Let us now say goodbye to Hannah Brown, unless you are one of the people theorizing that Peter and Hannah are somehow now together and that is the crazy ending to this season.
Who knows? Nobody knows. It's still a surprise, which is a lot of fun this season.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's going to happen because I feel like this is, once again, Bachelor producers mustache twirling themselves into a frenzy where they didn't seem like they had that much chaos going on elsewhere, and they were just milking the Hannah thing for everything that they could.
Yeah, this whole date was really awkward. It felt like you were out at a restaurant on a date with somebody, and then your ex walks in, and then they leave you at the table and go to another room, and they're on your lap, and you're touching their hair, and you're like, you're gonna kiss them, and you come back and they're like, oh, this date isn't working. Well, why? Well, because I was just in the other room, feeling up this other person and getting all close with my ex again while you're on a date. It was so uncomfortable to watch the girls in the other room writing up their stuff for their challenge or their group date thing, and everyone thinking they're finally going to get to spend time with him. No.
That ain't happening.
You're not getting to spend time with him. Instead, he has spent almost the entire date sitting in a back room with his ex, and you guys are all kind of a bunch of chumps.
I've tried to think a lot about this, the psychology of why people get so mad when someone new sort of shows up during the season. It happened with Nick Viall, it happened with Chantel, which led to the "who is she" comment that is probably my favorite quote in Bachelor history.
Yeah,
but
you love that.
I think really a lot of it sort of just comes from this idea that you, at least after the first night, I feel like you kind of have a sense of who you're all kind of competing with in some ways, to use that word, who you're on the show with. And yeah, you're dating this guy and there's other women who are also dating him, but you kind of think that's it. And then it's like this other person is coming out of nowhere and they're sort of disrupting everything you know.
Well, the thing is if you're on this show, you should expect that things like this are going to happen. The show's been around a really long time. Anyone that's watched a show knows that they love to bring somebody back who's going to make things uncomfortable, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But if you're the Bachelor and you are Peter.
Yeah.
Don't go to another room with your ex and start doing stuff like that. If you feel that you have unresolved feelings and you need to work them out, cool. Do it after the date. And I understand that Hannah had other obligations. She was on Dancing with the Stars at the same time.
Yeah.
That may not have been an option. But to do it while the other girls are in the other room, it is absolutely not the right time. It's not the right time for Hannah.
Yeah.
It's not the right time for the other women. It's not the right time for Peter. Wait until that date is over. At least he had the decency to come out and end the date. I was like, okay, at least this is happening. Yeah. And then he said, I was wrong and this is happening. And Natasha, who is my champion, was like, yeah, you were wrong and this is rude. Yeah. Like, what is happening? I was so happy that somebody spoke out, because this is a competition for love, and you don't always want to be the person that's gonna ruffle any feathers or step on anyone's toes or get Peter upset, and he's already upset. But to have a woman like Natasha on the show who is going to call it out like it is, I really appreciate it. And she became somebody who I'm really invested in now.
And that's really good, because we don't really actually know that many people so far this season. There wasn't any one-on-one date in this entire episode.
Yeah.
We've only had one basically the whole time so far. So we don't really know a lot of these people all that well.
And neither does Peter, because it seems like this episode and last episode, he had a number of women that he sat down with and was basically like, who are you again?
Yeah.
Can you jog my memory? I don't remember anything about you. And I don't remember that happening as much as it's happening this season.
I think they're not editing out this season. I feel like it's got to happen in the past, but for some reason they're deciding to show it to us this time. Ultimate what if moment. We're never gonna get an answer to this. If Hannah wasn't on Dancing with the Stars, if she would actually have joined this season, because I'm sure she would come out now and be like, oh yeah, no, I wouldn't have come back and been on the season. But that's some possible revisionist history where, it's hard to really know in that moment. And I'm not faulting Hannah if she did come out and say that. It's just sort of it's hard to know what you would have felt in that moment with those circumstances.
Yeah, and obviously what was going on with the two of them in the other room was extremely intense. They were being very vulnerable and very honest with what was going on. So it's possible she would have, but I think the right choice was made for right now.
Let's get to Champagne Gate, because this is quite possibly on the top 5 stupidest controversies in recent Bachelor history. Just think about the mechanics here. You bring a champagne bottle. It's special to you. You shouldn't be bringing it on The Bachelor, for one.
If you are, you need to guard it.
Yeah.
Do not just go and put it somewhere with some candles and nothing else that identifies that this actually belongs to somebody. Because then we have a second champagne bottle sitting up on the deck with candles, the same sort of setup. There is nothing that was identifying that this belonged to anybody. So when Peter came along, it was like, oh, champagne. There is no other thing to think.
Yeah.
Why would he think for even a second to ask around?
No, that's not Peter's job. Peter's job is to be carted from room to room by various producers and getting him to talk to people. He's not the champagne whisperer.
No.
He does not know any of this. Kelsey, you need to remember guard and protect your heart, Casey? That dude who got the tattoo? She needed to be like that with this champagne if she wanted this to actually work out. Guard and protect its heart.
Even just put a little note on it. Just something beside it. Or if you can't be around it and you're like, oh, I just want to be in the other room, ask a friend. Yeah. Ask a friend.
Yeah.
Could you just sit by this? Or as soon as you see Peter, okay, maybe he's getting carted off. But you can be like, just so you know, whenever you're done, can you meet me in this room? I've got something going on in here for you.
Yeah.
No problem. Then go wait by your champagne.
Yeah. You're just the fun.
This was completely avoidable.
It was all avoidable. And this is the funnest side here is when I was on Beauty and the Geek, the first thing we did when we arrived at the house, everybody's running around and looking for a bed because you want to know where you're staying. I didn't want to stay with a bunch of other people. So what I did, I whipped out my ID, and with cameras recording it, which was probably not smart, I put the ID on the bed that I wanted, and I was claiming it, and then therefore nobody would touch it.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah,
I heard that story.
I forgot all about it. And it's just one of these sort of things. It's these shows pull out Beauty and the Geek memories from me. But she should have taped her ID to the champagne bottle. They would have never broadcast it because Bachelor producers, they can be mean, but I don't think they're going to cause identity theft. But
no, but there was lots of ways to make sure that didn't happen. Clearly, they made her feel comfortable.
Yeah.
She felt comfortable enough to leave it. She thought maybe enough people knew. So this is turning into now Hannah Ann stole the champagne and it is blowing up into this big nothing burger for no reason, and neither of them are really in the wrong, and now it's turning into everybody's in the wrong for no reason. It is so much drama. It has been very entertaining to watch.
Well, don't get us wrong, this is all very fun.
Yes, I sound like I'm complaining, but I'm totally not. This is wildly entertaining to watch all this happen.
Here's the question I have. Who are producers trying to screw over more? Are they trying to screw over Kelsey, Hannah Ann, or are they just throwing both of them into like a bottomless pit?
It feels like Kelsey's someone that we're going to see again, like Ashley I, who likes to cry a lot, or doesn't like to cry a lot, but did cry a lot, who I really love.
Yes.
I just love Ashley. She's so great.
You're not going to win this season, but just keep us around.
Yes. I think Kelsey will be somebody that we may see again in another, like, Bachelor
Paradise.
Yeah. But Hannah Ann, it almost feels like they're trying to give her a little bit of a villain edit.
Yeah.
But it ain't sticking for me. I don't think she's done anything besides stealing Peter a couple times on the first night, which is a little like, faux pas. Don't do that too many times. Okay, that's not that great, but that's not like, I'm gonna take this champagne, I'm gonna hurt somebody.
I think the thing is, Hannah Ann is just confident, and I think a lot of this, like, I think I've heard this from Courtney Robertson at some point in talking about her over-the-top antics, which were way worse than anything Hannah Ann has done. But I know Courtney was a model, talked a lot about how the modeling industry is very, very competitive, and she sort of got her training for this in a lot of ways from that. But Hannah Ann, she is very competitive in her own way, and she gets Peter's attention, and she's able to sort of maintain that. And no, I do not believe that Hannah Ann willingly screwed over Kelsey, but there are a few things I loved more than Kelsey's incredible freak out after the fact about this, because it felt like she thought Hannah Ann took the bottle and smashed it and then just laughed about it.
Yeah, she was making it feel like she just took it and like dumped it on the floor and did a dance, and it was like,
that didn't happen.
No, none of that happened. It was, they walked into a room and Peter was like, ooh, champagne.
Yeah.
And then they drank it. There was nothing nefarious.
But the freak out was great. Kelsey freaking out about it, her confrontations, there was a lot, the amount of passive aggressiveness and just like comments that were in this, like, hey, can I steal you for, can we talk for a minute?
Oh my goodness, and Tammy's face is like my new favorite meme that she had going on when they just like zeroed in on her, and she was just like, I was like, oh my goodness, I'm going to be using this for the next like month.
Is Tammy Jim Halpert? That is the thing I'm going to be watching, because it seems like she's kind of funny, has a dark sense of humor.
So funny.
But her reaction faces, she's just like kind of the normal person surrounded by the crazy all the time.
Her reaction face was so good.
Yeah.
It was so good. And I like her because she is funny. She does have great reactions, and she's trying to kind of keep the peace in a situation where there's going to be no peace.
Yeah. But wait, there's more with Kelsey, because eventually Peter sees she's freaking out. He takes her to the side. Magically, there's another bottle of champagne here. So, as people do, they have the question, do you want to drink it in glasses or drink it straight out of the... Have you ever had someone ask you, do you want to drink the champagne straight out of the bottle?
No. And now after Kelsey has shown me that this is a really bad idea, if somebody asks me that, I will say glass every time. Kelsey, you've taught me.
This is like basically getting a bottle of root beer, shaking it up and being like, putting it to your face and twisting it open and it just gushing. Oh, it's like, You know this is a terrible idea, right?
But it was such good TV. What a great moment. Not for Kelsey, but man, for me.
We want to talk about memes that are going to live on forever. It is going to be this with Kelsey. I hope you have a good sense of humor. If not, I hope you're not on social media tonight.
I hope she has a good sense of humor about it.
This was
because I'm not laughing at her. I'm laughing at the situation. Yeah. It's not about her. And she did give a really great moment. So she should feel, if anything good can come out of that, she gave everybody a smile.
She gave herself a ticket to paradise. Like, you got to feel good about this if you are Kelsey. Here's the reality. We have a rose ceremony, and not to be mean to the people who are eliminated, but I could really care less about a lot of them, not because we just don't know them. Like, I don't know who these people are.
We're just like Peter.
Yeah.
Who are you again? And how did you get it? I just don't remember. Yes, that is what happened there as well for me.
I am too caught up still in the frenzy of Kelsey getting champagne all over herself that I couldn't really even be bothered that much with the rose there. Once I saw that Kelsey, of course, gets the last rose that's called.
Of course.
Which is once again the producers being like, Peter, you gotta put Kelsey last to see if she implodes. Exactly. Then you have the Revolve fashion show, which, by the way, this is just like they're all influencer auditions at this point because I have never really seen much Revolve in my actual day-to-day life, but I have seen it on the internet like 2 million times. And I love that they tried to make this into a Revolve fashion show, much like, you know, I can't believe I'm doing this twice in one video, the Beauty and the Geek talent show that we did. Like, they make these things out to be real things. I do not believe for a split second that this was some sort of public Revolve fashion show.
No, of course not.
It was just some random thing they stuck in like a production house somewhere. And
well, if you're gonna have Revolve on there, you have to be able to show off the clothes. This is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't have too much of a problem with this. This felt like it was on brand for the show, for what, let the women pick out some really cool clothes, feel beautiful, walk down the runway, feel like a model, show off a little bit for Peter. This felt like a proper good group date that lifts people up.
It actually did feel on brand for the show. It wasn't like, hey, let's have these women athletically compete with each other or embarrass themselves. Though, if I was one of these women, I would not have done the runway thing the right way. I would have, roboted down the runway or done something, really, really funny. Because you probably know that Hannah Ann is a model at this point. I'm sure it has been discussed in the house. So, she's probably going to win the fashion show.
Yeah, probably. But I will say Victoria F did a really good job, and I was actually kind of surprised she didn't win it.
Yeah, I mean, I would go for the comedy, but yeah, I think Victoria, she did a pretty good job given that she spent most of the time freaking out, and they were really milking this, is Victoria going to quit, for about 5 minutes on the show.
I can completely understand. I'm a person who's pretty nervous and insecure about myself as well. So while that was happening, I was like, okay, I feel for her. I would not be able to get up there and do that at all. So when she actually did, and she got up there and she did it, I was like, good for you, because I still wouldn't be doing it. I would still be the woman in the back being like, nope.
And I would be the woman roboting on the stage because I would not know what to do with myself in any other circumstance. By the way, how do you book Janice Dickinson for this and not have actual Janice Dickinson reality TV awesomeness? She didn't get mad at anybody.
She didn't, but I mean, it wasn't that kind of deal. But she was still very honest about stuff, which is what I love about her.
Yeah, and also, don't get me wrong, I love Carson Kressley, but ABC, Dancing with the Stars Synergy, you know where I'm going with this. How do you not get Karamo to be on this date?
Yes, Karamo. Oh, I would have loved that.
I know. They could have made her night so much better by giving us Karamo, but no. Alas, they decided to be mean to us. But yeah, it was obvious kind of how this was ultimately going to go.
If you're watching this Karamo, that adoption thing.
Okay, we can't keep that bit going.
Oh, yes, we can. We're 20 minutes in. No one's watching.
Oh, yeah, everybody is watching.
You and me, Karamo. I'll be your daughter.
Okay, well, all right. So, Karamo, I'm sorry. No, it's a situation on this date where It's all kind of predictable. I was just more looking forward to, okay, let's get to the after party, that sort of thing. Because, yes, Hannah Ann won about 1 billion different clothes, but that doesn't mean she wins the rose. Victoria wins the rose, and...
Good pick. I was happy with that.
Yeah, I thought it was fine given the circumstances. You know, she is different than a lot of the other women, and she's starting to earn what Chris Harrison said before the season, that she is going to go through everything someone can go through. So I think this is a start to that, but I think under the circumstances, yeah, it felt right.
It did feel right, and it would have felt really odd for whoever won $10,000 worth of clothes, $20,000 worth of clothes, whatever it was, to then also get the rose. I feel like that would have just created such discord in the group that there would be no coming back from it for Peter.
Yeah, and I feel like Peter had to know that. I think either that or producers, twisted the mustache and told him that again. Actually, no, they would have wanted him to pick Hannah Ann for the rose.
Yeah, they would have. But I think that he's at least... I like to think he's that self-aware. Yeah. However, he was kind of doing whatever with Hannah while he's on another date.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he had to realize that it would have been bad for her. But then we get to round 2 of Kelsey versus Hannah Ann, because somehow this will not die.
Nope.
That Kelsey is still kind of being a little bit extra on this group date and... doing whatever it is that she does.
And saying some things that aren't cool.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing here is that Kelsey is not nice towards Hannah Ann. I think we can say that based on what we have seen.
Yes, there is clearly some tension here. She is not a fan, and she's going to say some stuff.
Yeah, and I think some of it is probably Champagne Gate. Some of it is also probably that Hannah Ann was a very big star from the get-go. She's the favorite.
Yep.
You ratchet all this up. You add some booze into the mix. Things get crazy. But eventually this leads to Hannah Ann doing a very classic reality TV thing, which is dropping what I think we can call the bully bomb in the conversation with Peter, that Kelsey is now bullying her. Now we get controversial, everyone.
Yeah, and as someone who has been bullied in my past in school, this didn't feel like bullying. And for me, I think that it's hard to use the word bully and be like, you're right or you're wrong or whatever, because it's all based on feelings.
Yeah.
So if that's how Hannah Ann felt, that she felt like, okay, Kelsey's been coming after me. She's been saying this and this and this and this, and now it's enough.
Yeah.
And this is how I'm feeling. There isn't anyone that can really take that away from her, because being bullied is not only the actions of what someone else is doing, it is also how the person feels about what's happening to them.
Yeah.
So I can't sit here and say, oh, Hannah Ann, you weren't really being bullied. You need to take a seat, because I'm not her, and I don't know how she was feeling in that situation. We only got a little tiny sort of snippet of what was going on, and it really feels like this was kind of going on over a period of time. This wasn't just, Kelsey called me a name and now she's a bully, because there's a difference between someone having a fight and someone calling someone a name and bullying somebody.
Yeah, it's a difficult situation, because we don't know if Kelsey was saying bad things to Hannah Ann on the bus to the group date. We don't know what's going on any of those stations. I think we can say, I understand Kelsey being mad about the champagne. Kelsey also said some mean things about Hannah Ann that were not nice. I also could say, though, that it's subjective in a certain way, but it does come down to what Hannah Ann feels. If I was Hannah Ann, though, I wouldn't throw that word out just because it is so charged and it's just going to make the other person madder. Yeah,
and if you're going to use the word bully, and she may have felt that she was being bullied and that's why she used the word, I wouldn't use that word lightly. If I was going to talk to Peter about what's going on, and I felt like maybe I probably would have worded it differently. I wouldn't have been like, oh, she's bullying me. I would have been more like, man, like ever since this happened, it's just been like on and relentless, and these names and these names. You don't need to also be like, and I'm feeling bullied, because if you're explaining what's happening to you, oh man, since this happened, this and this and this, and you list it off, that's enough.
I think the real question I'm wondering now is, how much are the producers trying to organize a 2-on-1 date now with Kelsey and Hannah Ann both participating on it? Because it's been we haven't seen as many of these in recent years, but yeah, like I think it was Olivia who got left on an island somewhere in the middle of nowhere, or like
I remember.
I think even guard and protect your heart, Kelsey. Casey. I think he got left on a glacier. Like I think we need somebody to be.
They love that where somebody's left on an island all by themselves, and they have that big sweeping helicopter where they're all alone.
Yeah, like. Come on, guys. You know you want to do this, and you know it's probably going to be Kelsey who gets eliminated from it, too.
Yes.
But, all right, we'll wrap this up. But what did you guys think about The Bachelor Episode 2? Whose side are you on in Champagne Gate? The real question here. Share in the comments, and if you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and you can support us further by checking that link in the description to the CARTERMATT store, and we'll see you here next time.